Thanks to Envato Elements for sponsoring this video. For more information, check the affiliate link in the description. Today, we're recreating a shot from Spider-Man No Way Home for the Shot Deck Recreations Contest. Shot Deck is an incredible resource that I use in most of my projects. It is packed with neatly organized shots from all sorts of movies that you can use as reference to create mood boards or even scroll through just to get inspired. Each shot also contains a bunch of useful information, such as what camera it was shot on, in what part of the movie you can find the shot, and so on. And for the second time in a row now, they're running this recreations contest, and we thought it was a great reason to go out, get creative, and have some fun. We chose this shot of Tom Holland from Spider-Man No Way Home for multiple reasons. There's a mix of light, water, the bokeh background, and blood on his face, which when combined give us a very dynamic shot. And on top of that, my cousin does look a bit like Tom Holland, so there's that. To start off, we went out to our backyard and set up the camera, which was a Blackmagic Pocket 6K with a Rokinon 135mm f2.2 lens, since this was gonna be a very tight close-up, and then we plugged in a TV behind him, which was hooked up to my laptop via HDMI in order to bring up these out-of-focus city lights at night. Once we had the composition locked in place, we then set up our key light with a softbox and grid to direct the light towards the subject so it wouldn't spill onto the TV. To figure out the key light placement and softness, I focused on the nose shadow of the original shot. Usually when trying to figure out the lighting from a shot, it's best to analyze the shadow attributes instead of the highlights. Then we used a couple of these very practical Aperture MC lights which have a full color range and built-in magnets, so we could stick them to a very expensive tripod, my car. One was used for some fill on the shadow side and the other as a red backlight. We intentionally made the lighting a bit brighter compared to the original shot, as we could get less noise and a sharper image, but could then tone it down in post with color grading, which we'll get to later on in the video. For the makeup, my cousin used lipstick on my other cousin and spread it out to get this base layer, and then applied ketchup on top to act as blood. For the rain, we pumped water through a regular hose, which I would say gave a pretty realistic result when combined with the ketchup and lipstick. It was a bit stressful because there were all these electronics around, and we were blasting water all over the place. At first though, the rain wasn't reading too well due to lack of lighting, but then we put a phone flashlight behind the subject, which made the water pop out a lot more. We only needed one frame for the contest, but because this was a very dynamic shot with the water dripping and all that, I wanted to extract a short clip, so we ended up doing a few takes as it was a very tight shot and my cousin would move out of frame sometimes. But in the end, it actually worked in our favor because it was a bit of a chilly night and the water was cold as well, so by the time we got the final shot, my cousin didn't really have to do any acting.
I got very cold, first of all, but the shot looks very nice. They're keeping me warm now.
He's getting a special treatment after torturing him.
Now let's quickly take a look at the color grading, which was done in DaVinci Resolve. I am by no means a pro colorist, so maybe using as many nodes isn't ideal, but I was trying to dial in the look to match as closely as possible. And here, I'll go through some of the main steps I took, such as using a color space transform node to convert from a flat look. Then I tweaked the overall exposure, contrast, saturation, and color temperature. Then focused on matching the blue background, the redness of the blood, brightened the face and eyes, but then darkened his right cheek, all with tracked masks, and finally softened everything back up with a beauty effect node to get rid of that sharp digital look. So even when we meticulously set everything up on set, we still have to take these small steps in the color grading stage to match it as closely as possible, and even then, it won't ever perfectly match. When you look at the final shot, you think, oh, that looks nice, but then you take a step back and see how it was actually done, and it's hilarious. But in the end, all that matters is the final result and the fact that we had a lot of fun during this process, which we often forget is a big part of why we do filmmaking in the first place. We'll definitely be doing more stuff like this in the future, so if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful in some way, then give it a like and consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.